Libraries provide essential public services not available elsewhere. In libraries across the state, Iowans can access the internet, find early childhood education programs and homework help, and take advantage of resources for lifelong learning, career development, and personal enrichment. To support these vital services, the Iowa Library Association asks the General Assembly to meet the following goals in 2023: safeguarding intellectual freedom and the freedom to read. The Iowa Library Association supports intellectual freedom, which is defined as the right of every individual to both seek and receive information from all points of view without restriction. The association stands against any proposed legislation which would inhibit the freedom to read or infringe upon the foundational ethics of the profession. The association supports retaining Iowa Code 728, which is consistent with federal and state law, as well as the professional ethics of educators and librarians. Book pricing is important to the Iowa Library Association too, and advocate for a fair access and pricing model for digital library content in libraries. The barriers created due to this issue hits hardest on those who face technological and financial challenges. The state's smallest and rural libraries are the most burdened. Currently, libraries face many challenges to meet the ebook needs of Iowans. Some publishers do not allow libraries to purchase licenses to some or all of their digital works. Some publishers embargo the sale of new ebooks to libraries. Many publishers set library pricing as much as 6 times or even more higher than the cost to consumers for ebooks. Note that libraries often purchase print books at a discount for consumer prices to support public budgets. Increasingly, ebook publishers sell to libraries at an expiration date of 1 or 2 years, forcing libraries to repurchase ebooks to sustain access and further inflate the actual cost of the actual ebook. Technology has enabled publishers to create 2 classes of customers in Iowa: those who can afford to buy electronic literary products, and public libraries who serve those who cannot, while charging the latter substantially more for the same product. Funding of the statewide delivery of $1 million continues to be essential to Iowa Library Association. The service was launched by the State of Iowa Library with precarious federal funds. Iowans quickly benefited from the service, and librarians saw a positive impact on their operating budgets and their delivery of services. The service provides equal access to materials for our smallest libraries and our largest. This program needs reliable and consistent funding from the state to ensure its success and growth so that Iowans can benefit from the collections across the state. ILA pillar issues continue to be important to us. The funding of the State of Iowa Library is essential. Every dollar invested in the state library helps fulfill the library's mission to improve services for all. By partnering with public libraries, academic and school libraries, the state library's funding has remained flat for many years. This must be corrected to ensure that the state library receives the necessary funding, providing good quality professional services for lifelong learners across the state. Additionally, the $1 million for direct state aid is important. This statewide program for direct state aid for Iowa public libraries helps them modernize the infrastructure, update the technology, and provide innovative services that help Iowans every day. State assistance also ensures that Iowans can use their local library card to check out materials at all 600 participating libraries across Iowa. Furthermore, state support for interlibrary loans gives Iowans equal access to library resources by promoting resource sharing between all types of libraries. It is also essential that we continue to recognize school librarians as important instructional staff. The Department of Education in Iowa needs to designate school librarians as instructional staff who provide student learning in school libraries, classrooms, learning commons, maker spaces, labs, and virtual learning spaces to the enhancement of all. School librarians play a critical role within the educational team and framework of every library school district to provide lifelong skills that enable students to navigate, use, and evaluate information across platforms. Preserving Iowa's tradition of hometown governance for public school and academic libraries is a core value. Preserving hometown governance of Iowa's public schools by maintaining the support for autonomy of the public library boards and school boards created and to adopt appropriate local policies allows us to reflect the communities we serve in libraries. Lastly, financial relief for libraries affected by COVID-19 is a role that the legislature can play. Pandemic has directly affected every library in the state of Iowa, making it difficult for libraries to deliver services or effectively interact with our patrons. The loss of tax revenue and the negative economic effects of these affected library budgets are going to be felt hard. Libraries are vital to every community, and without proper funding, the residents of these communities will feel that impact to access to books, programming, community building, job seeking, and more. Thank you so much for focusing on these legislative agendas with us. It is important to share these with your stakeholders in your home library communities, your city councils, your boards of regents, your board of supervisors, but then again at ILA Legislative Day in Des Moines on March 7th. I'll see you there between 12 and 2.